we are now going to discuss how to find absolute maximum and absolute minimum values in a closed interval. How to find absolute maximum and absolute minimum values in a closed interval. Let y is equal to fx be a continuous function defined in closed interval AB. We have to find the absolute maximum and absolute minimum values of this function. It involves the following two steps. Step 1 is solve f dash x equal to 0. Let x equal to a1, a2, an be the values of x obtained by solving this equation. What we now do is we find the values of fx at all these points. That is fa1, fa2, so on up to fan. And also find the values of f at the end points of the interval. Find the values of f at all these points and also at the end points of the interval. Then absolute maximum value is the greatest value among these values. Absolute maximum value, capital M, is the greatest value among all these values found in step 2. And small m is equal to absolute minimum value is the smallest among all these values we have found in step 2. Smallest value is the absolute minimum value and greatest value is the absolute maximum value. Now next is a very important note. If in step 1 f dash x is not defined at some points and those points belong to the domain. F dash x is not defined but fx is defined. That is, it belongs to the domain of the function. Then we must also consider these points in step 1. If f dash x is not defined at say alpha, beta and so on, and these points belong to the domain of fx. F dash x is not defined but fx is defined. Then these points should be included in step 1. Now we take up some questions based on this. Now next question is find both the maximum and minimum values of this function on the interval this. We are given fx is equal to this much. What we do is we first find f dash x, and f dash x is differential of this is 4x cube. So this will be 12x cube minus 8 3s are 24. 24x square plus 12 2s are 24. 24x minus 48. Differential of this is 0. Now 12 is common. We are left with x cube minus 2x square plus 2x minus 4. And this is equal to 12 into x square is common. We get x minus 2. X square is common. We get x minus 2 plus 2 into x minus 2. This is equal to 12 into x square plus 2 into x minus 2. You can also use synthetic division to factorize this. But this is easy, so I took it directly. I factorized it directly. You can also use synthetic division. So f dash x is this much. Now let f dash x be equal to 0, and this implies x square plus 2 is 0 and x minus 2 is 0, and this is imaginary roots, and this gives x is equal to 2. This will give x square equal to minus 2, and square is never negative in real numbers. So this is rejected and we get only x equal to 2. So therefore points to be considered are the endpoints and the point x equal to 2 and 4. So we have to find the value of fx at f1. f1 is 3 into 1 power 4 minus 8 into 1 plus 12 into 1 minus 48 into 1 plus 1. This is equal to, now 12 plus 3 is 15, 15 plus 1 is 16. 16 minus 8 is 8. And minus 48 plus 8 is minus 40. This is minus 40. And next is f of 2. So f of 2 is 3 into 2 to the power of 4 minus 8 into 2 cube plus 12 into 2 square minus 48 into 2 plus 1. This is equal to 2 2s are 4, 4 4s are 16. 16 into 3 is 48. Minus 2 2s are 4, 2s are 8, 8 8s are 64. Plus 2 2s are 4, 12 4s are 48. Minus 96 plus 1. So 96 cancel and we get minus 63. And the last point is f of 4. You can also use a synthetic division in finding the value of this function at the point 2 and 4. For 4 I am using synthetic division. What we do is write the coefficients of the terms, that is 3 minus 8, 12 minus 48 and 1. And the divisor is 2. We write, this is the starter, 3 into 2s are 6, and this is minus 2 into 2 is minus 4. Multiply by this, place under the next and add. Multiply by this, this is 16, place under the next and add. We get minus 32. Multiply by this, place under the next, that is minus 64, and this will be minus 63. So value is minus 63. In some situations this is less time consuming. For 4 I am again using the synthetic division. 3 minus 8, 12 minus 48 and 1, and divisor is 4. The value at 4 will be found like this. Remainder is the value of the function. This is the remainder. This is equal to the value of the function at the point 2. So this will be 3 into 4 is 12. This is 4. 4 4s are 16, and we add, this is 28. 28 4s are 112. 112. And 112 minus 48 is 64. And 64 into 4 is, this is 257. So value is 257. Therefore, absolute maximum value is, which is the greatest value among? This is the greatest value. So this is 257. And absolute minimum value is, which is the minimum? Minimum is minus 63. This is the absolute minimum value. And point of absolute maximum is 4, and point of absolute minimum is 2. Find the maximum and minimum values of this function in the interval 0 to 2 pi. We are given the function fx is equal to x plus sine 2x in this interval. Now first step is we find f dash x. F dash x is equal to differential of x is 1 plus differential of sine is cos 2x into differential of inner function is 2. this is equal to 1 plus 2 cos 2x. What we do is we put f dash x equal to 0, and this implies 1 plus 2 cos 2x is 0, and this implies cos of 2x is equal to, take this to the other side, minus 1 by 2, minus 1 by 2. Now we are given x belongs to 0 to 2 pi, that is 0 is less than x is less than 2 pi, or we can say 0 is less than, multiply this by 2, 2x is less than 4 pi. So we have to take values of 2x which lie between 0 and 4 pi. Now these are the coordinate axes. Cos is negative in second and third quadrant. Cos is negative in second and third quadrants. So we have to take the values from second and third quadrant. Now this is pi. In this quadrant, value of cos is half. Cos is half at pi by 3, that is 60 degrees. So we will take 2x is equal to, now half value is at pi by 3 and quadrant is second. So we will take pi minus pi by 3. And in this quadrant we will take pi plus pi by 3. Pi plus pi by 3. And again this is 2 pi, this is 3 pi. We have to take the values from 0 to 4 pi. So this is 0, pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 3 pi minus pi by 3. So next value will be 3 pi minus pi by 3. And this will be 3 pi plus pi by 3. 3 pi plus pi by 3. This is equal to 2 pi by 3. This is 4 pi by 3. This is 9 pi minus pi is 8 pi by 3. And this will be 9 pi plus pi, 10 pi by 3. And therefore x is equal to pi by 3, 2 pi by 3, 4 pi by 3 and 5 pi by 3. And end points are 0 and 2 pi. So what we now do is we find the value of fx at all these points and at the end points 0 and 2 pi. So value of f at 0. Value of f at 0 is 0 plus sine 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is equal to 0. And f at pi by 3. F at pi by 3 is pi by 3 plus sine 2 pi by 3. And this is equal to pi by 3 plus sine of 2 pi by 3. 2 pi by 3 is pi minus pi by 3. Pi minus pi by 3. And this is equal to pi by 3 plus sine of pi minus pi by 3. Pi minus pi by 3 is in second quadrant. In second quadrant, sine is positive. And value of sine at pi by 3 is, how much is the value of sine? Root 3 by 2. So this is the value of this. Now again, f of 2 pi by 3. This is equal to 2 pi by 3 plus sine of 4 pi by 3. F of 2 pi by 3. This will be 2 pi by 3 plus sine 2 into 2 pi by 3 is 4 pi by 3. And this is equal to 2 pi by 3 plus sine of pi plus pi by 3. And this is equal to 2 pi by 3 plus sine of pi plus pi by 3. This is in third quadrant. In third quadrant, sine is negative. So we will have minus sine of pi by 3. And minus sine of pi by 3 is minus root 3 by 2. So the value is 2 pi by 3 minus root 3 by 2. Next is f of 4 pi by 3. This is equal to 4 pi by 3 plus sine of f of 4 pi by 3. 4 pi by 3 plus sine of 2 into 4 pi by 3. That is 8 pi by 3. This is 8 pi by 3. And this is equal to 4 pi by 3 plus sine of 8 pi by 3. 8 pi by 3 is 3 pi minus pi by 3. This is 3 pi minus pi by 3. And this is equal to sine of 3 pi by 3. Sine of 3 pi by 3. 0 pi 2 pi 3. 3 pi minus pi by 3 is in second quadrant. In second quadrant sine is positive. So we will have 4 pi by 3 sine is positive. So we will have plus sign, and 3 pi minus pi by 3. Sine of pi by 3 is root 3 by 2. So we will have root 3 by 2. And f of 5 pi by 3. 5 by 3 is 5 pi by 3 plus sine of 2 into 5 pi by 3. 2 into 5 pi by 3. So this will be 10 pi by 3. This is equal to 5 pi by 3 plus sine of, how much is 10 pi by 3? 10 pi by 3 is 3 pi plus pi by 3. So this is 3 pi plus pi by 3. And this is equal to 5 pi by 3 and sine of 3 pi plus pi by 3. 3 pi plus pi by 3 is in third quadrant. In third quadrant sine is negative. And value at pi by 3 is root 3 by 2. And f at endpoint is, other endpoint is 2 pi. 0 and 2 pi. We must also take these endpoints. So this is equal to 2 pi plus sine of 2 pi into 2. 2 into 2 pi. That is 4 pi. And this is equal to 2 pi plus 0. This is equal to 2 pi. And therefore absolute maximum value is equal to absolute maximum value, which is the greatest value among these. Greatest among these values. And greatest among these values is, now we know root 3. Root 3 is 1.732 approximately. And root 3 by 2 is therefore equal to 0.866 is the approximate value of root 3 by 2. So this will be 1 plus this. No, this is not the greatest. 2 pi by 3. This is approximately 3 point, pi is approximately 3.1. So 3.1. This will be 2 point something minus this. This is not the greatest value. This is 3, pi is 3.1. So this is 1.1. 4 plus this. 4.8 less than 5. So this will be also less than 5. So this will be equal to more than 6. So this will be the greatest value. You can use approximate value of root 3 and pi. Pi is 3.1 approximately. And we find out that this is the greatest value. So 2 pi. Absolute maximum value is 2 pi. And point of absolute maximum, 2 pi value is being obtained at 2 pi. So x is equal to 2 pi. So absolute maximum value is 2 pi and point of absolute maximum value is also 2 pi. And next is absolute minimum value. Absolute minimum value. Now this is 0, this is positive, this is again positive, 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 this is also positive. So 0 is the minimum value. And point of absolute minimum is, now 0 value is being obtained at the point 0. So this is the point of absolute minimum. Absolute maximum value is 2 pi and absolute minimum value is 0. Now before ending this topic, I would like to discuss a few more things. First is how can we find absolute maximum and absolute minimum value over an open interval. Just now we discussed how to find absolute maximum and absolute minimum value over a closed interval. Now we will discuss how to find these values over an open interval. Let y equal to fx be a continuous function defined over an open interval AB. What we do is the process is similar to the process we followed for closed interval. There are few things you must keep in mind. First is solve f dash x equal to 0, which is same as we did for a closed interval. Find fa1, a2, fan. Now here we do not find the values at the endpoints because endpoints do not belong to the domain of the function. So we cannot find the values of the function at these points. Next thing is what we do is we find limit x, this is the interval AB. This is A, this is B. What we do is we find the value of limit x approaches A from positive side. We find the value of f when we approach A from positive side. Let this value be alpha. And we find the value of f when we approach B from negative side, because this does not belong to the domain of the function. So we cannot approach B from right because this interval does not belong to the domain. So we take x approaches B from negative side and x approaches A from positive side. We find these values and let these values be alpha and beta. Now let m be the greatest among these and small m be the least among these. M is the least value among these and m is the greatest value among these. Now case 1. If m is less than equal to alpha comma beta is less than equal to m, that is alpha and beta lie between m and m. That is alpha and beta lie between m and m. Then capital M will be the absolute maximum value and small m will be the absolute minimum value. Now case 2. Now in this case we will take alpha less than beta. You can also discuss the case in which beta is less than alpha. For better understanding I am taking alpha less than beta. Now if alpha is less than m is less than beta is less than m, that is alpha lies here and beta lies between m and m. Alpha lies outside m. Then in this case fx does not possess an absolute minimum. This will not be the absolute minimum value. In this case fx will have no absolute minimum value in open interval AB and m will be the absolute maximum value. Absolute minimum value will not exist and absolute maximum value will be m. Now if alpha lies between m and m, alpha lies here and beta lies outside m, beta lies here, then we will say that fx will not have any absolute maximum value in open interval AB. Absolute maximum value will not exist in open interval AB, but small m will be the absolute minimum value. If both alpha and beta lie outside m, then in this case both absolute minimum value and absolute maximum value will not exist in open interval AB. Next, a very important note: if there is only one critical point in open interval AB, there is only one critical point in open interval AB, then if this critical point is a point of local maximum, then it will also be an absolute maximum. If it is a local minimum, then it will also be an absolute minimum. Third is, if fx is greater than 0 and k greater than 0, then k into fx, k plus fx, fx to the power of k and fx to the power of 1 by k will be maximum or minimum according as fx is maximum or minimum. The trend will be maintained. If fx is maximum or minimum at a point, then kfx, k plus fx, fx to the power of k, fx to the power of 1 by k will also be maximum or minimum at that point. The trend will be maintained. And in case of 1 by fx, the trend will be reversed. Now in case of 1 by fx, the trend will be reversed. 1 by fx will be maximum or minimum according as fx is minimum or maximum. 1 by fx will be maximum if fx is minimum. 1 by fx will be minimum if fx is maximum.